Внимание, presentation.
What is anxiety? Anxiety is unease such as worry or fear. That can be mild or severe. But for some people, it's hard for them to control their worries, which affects their day-to-day lives. Mine included. Sometimes. What causes anxiety? Many things cause anxiety, such as stress around work or school. Or, school presentations. They gave you a lot of anxiety. But there are many other things that cause anxiety. Too many to name, but one general word used to group these worries and fears are phobias. Phobias are extreme fear of something, most of the time irrational. But anxiety isn't just a big fear of something, it's also a disorder. But what causes anxiety disorder? It's mostly genetics, but not always. Sometimes that could be overexposure to stressful situations. Or, worse than that, it could be abuse from family or relatives. By now you might be wondering, how common are anxiety disorders? Should I just get to the point? Very well. Anxiety disorders are the most common disorder in the US, affecting 18.1% of the state's population. In total, there are 5 anxiety disorders. Generalized anxiety disorder, GAD for short, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD for short, panic disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD for short, and social anxiety disorder, SAD for short. Oh, the irony. That's a bit sad. Moving on. PTSD happens when someone can't move on from a traumatic event. Either whatever has happened has affected their life in a very major way, or they just can't move on. Social anxiety disorder usually develops if a person has no friends or in general just feels lonely. But sometimes it could be that in the past people were mean to them, so they're just afraid of making the wrong move, thinking they'll be made fun of. OCD, on the other hand, is purely genetic, or is a problem with the brain. I can go into much more detail, but I don't want to name a bunch of random chemicals that I can't pronounce. That would be funny, but I'm not up here to embarrass myself. Lastly, generalized anxiety disorder is a mix of all 5 disorders. You worry and fear everything, and is the most common disorder of all 5. This could also be the worst out of all 5, but is the easiest to treat. Last thing I want to talk about is why I chose this topic in the first place. Well, I thought it'd be funny to do a presentation about anxiety, because I have anxiety. It's not that bad, but I wish I didn't have it. So basically, long story short, I just thought I was funny and clever. The result? This big mess of a presentation. Thank you for listening.
Przepraszam.